What's up, folks? This is your girl 410 Dame here. What's up? I am, first off, number one, enjoying being off for the summer because school is closed, and because I can't wear fingernail polish while I'm at work, I have been polish crazy and have changed the color on my fingernails literally every 3 days. So this is my newest color. It's kind of Barbie pink, which is kind of ironic in my listening to Nicki Minaj. But what those colors are number 62 clean color fusion pink, which is this here. You can see that. And on top of that, because it's kind of glittery, that's what the sheen is, but you can't really see it, so it kind of makes me upset. But anyway, number 68, which is Pink Star, which, as you can see, is a little small glitter underneath. If you can see that. So it's Pink Fusion, Fusion Pink number 62, and then on top of that, I have Pink Star, which is number 68. So that's why I have this kind of bubblegum pinky Barbie glitter Malibu color. But this video isn't about that. I am dealing with 100-degree weather like most of the East Coast, and I decided to put on a maxi dress to go out today. And I like dresses and things like that, but there's an issue that I had to deal with that I have yet to address on YouTube, so I want to share it now. What my issue is that I, like another 50% of African American women and about 25 to 30% of Caucasian women, and just women for the most part in general, within childbearing age. So I'm thinking maybe, let's say 18 to 40 have uterine fibroids. Now, if you're not familiar with this, but you should be at this point, what uterine fibroids are non-cancerous malignant tumors that grow from the uterus within like the muscle wall. So there are different types of fibroids. There are peduncular fibroids, which like grow off this little stem, and then they're near the uterus but not quite in the uterus or attached to it. Then there's some that are submusical, and I can't think of the last one. But what the differences are, one is either attached from the stem, I believe, inside the uterus, but not directly connected to it how a baby would be. And there are some that are growing along the uterine wall on the inside, and some grow on the uterine wall on the outside. Now, I'm not sure exactly which type I have, because in order to determine what kind you have to have an MRI done, and I've had what's called a transvaginal ultrasound. What a transvaginal ultrasound is an actual ultrasound done with a wand. I was looking for something, but I don't have anything near me. Done with a wand that they actually take and place in you through the cervix up into your actual uterus to get a sonogram, the same as they would using the paddle from the outside, except it's actually inside your cervix / vagina, like everything like in there, like up close and personal with you. So what I have are 4 larger ones, and I'm pretty sure I have some smaller ones too. But they kind of measure them by fruit. So when I was told about this in 2009, maybe 10, the 4 that they're talking about, that they're still talking about now, were the size, one was like the size of a small grapefruit, one was the size of, I believe, a lemon, and then I had 2 that were the size of 2 oranges. Now they've gotten larger because there's different surgical options and things that you can do, because initially all they kind of offered women as a solution was a hysterectomy, and I haven't given birth to any children, so I would prefer to have my uterus when I'm ready to do that. So there's a hysterectomy, there's a surgery called a myomectomy, and then there's a laparoscopic myomectomy. And what the myomectomy is the same, it's very similar to a cesarean section. All it is they make an incision, like across the bikini line, same as they would for a cesarean. They actually can open up the uterus, take the fibroids out of the uterus if they are in fact inside it, or cut them off around the outside, cut off the blood supply, close you up, and put your uterus back, close you up, and then it's done. But the only issue with that is it's not just done. Those particular ones are gone, but it doesn't mean that they cannot or will not grow back. The laparoscopic myomectomy is similar in the sense that it just removes the fibroids that you have, but they could potentially come back. The only difference is that they are two small incisions, about an inch, a half inch, an inch, 2 incisions. They do one on the right, one on the left side of your lower abdomen / uterus, whatever, where they use two like robot arms, 2 arms, and they then go in with these 2 arms, and they have like hooks kind of on the inside of them. They then come out, grab the fibroids, kind of destroy them, shred them up, and then the tube that the little arms are on, or the 2 tubes that kind of go in, actually have a suction, and then they suck out the bits and pieces of fibroid or fibrin tissue, which is same difference, and they then suck it out without having to have one long incision or whatever. But once your fibroid gets to a certain size, you're no longer a candidate for that. And if you want to have children, for the most part, the laparoscopic myomectomy really isn't the best thing for you to do, because in the ripping and the shredding of the actual fibroids within the uterus, you could rip or tear your actual uterus itself, so you may not be able to have children because you don't have a sustainable area for them to grow. You have a hole in your uterus, what is the baby going to attach itself to? It's kind of strange, and that's what happens. And then there's something else called UFE, which is uterine fibroid embolization, where what they do is they go in again with like 2 small incisions, same as the laparoscopic myomectomy, and cut off the blood supply by cutting the actual artery, which is then feeding the fibroid again, which helps it grow. But again, if you can't see exactly where the fibroid is, if it's on the inside or the outside, and you're cutting off a blood supply, my only issue with that is if you're cutting off a blood supply to this tumor, the blood supply is my uterus, would that then cut off my uterus, like deactivate it, like weird stuff like that? This is stuff that I'm thinking about and trying to figure out. My husband, wife combo, which is where husband comes from, have talked about children and having children, and would like to have kids and all of that. And I spent my entire life taking care of and raising 2 my first cousins, and so I'm not gonna say I haven't had a need for children, but I've always had children. I've had 2 kids my entire life. And when I say help to raise them, I don't mean just babysit them. I mean like got a job, went to work, went to PTA meetings, class trips, paid for school pictures, school supplies, doctor's appointments, like raised children, did homework, cook, clean, bathe, have 2 children. But now, as a half of a married couple, I'm saying I would like to have my own baby. We would like to have our own children, so without having to adopt, because there's already that option of having to potentially adopt, because we are 2 women that are married. So of course I don't have sperm, she don't, so I guess we kind of gotta have a third party into the situation anyway. But now dealing with this and trying to figure out what to do, are weighing options. There are certain medications that you can take that can shrink fibroids also. Some of them are things that they give you when you're trying to go for IVF, which is in vitro fertilization. And what they do is they stop you from having a period and ovulating in the first place. And then they put you on a brand new cycle that they can actually set to then try for you to be pregnant. But at a certain point, if your fibroids are too large, you might not qualify for that treatment anyway. Or they can give you pills, which initially I was on medicine called norethindrone, and it worked for me. I felt great. My energy was up, all of this stuff, but I was having no period, and you're supposed to. That was a side effect. If this happens, you needed to stop the medicine, and I didn't realize it, and I had been taking it for 4 months, feeling great. What having fibroids does, it changes your mood, it changes your appetite, it changes your skin, it changes how you feel and look physically for the most part, depending on the size. It changes your sexual appetite. It changes all of that. Chemically, it's like PMS on 10 without being mean or angry all the time. But it definitely changes a lot about you. And I definitely have noticed the change in myself, especially if I didn't feel it emotionally and mentally. Physically, I definitely noticed it. I had for me, I had it where I would gain weight, lose weight, gain weight, lose weight a little bit. But my biggest sign is, I'm going to show you, is the belly. You see that? Let me see. What's that? You see this? It's definitely, let me see if I can push this down. There we go. It's more so, this camera thing is weird to me, but my stomach, when I went to the doctors, now you can see it from the front view. I'm going to turn it this way. When I went to the doctors, they're saying to me, pressing on my stomach, that it feels like I have a 20-week uterus. Now, if you have a 20-week uterus or size or fetus or whatever size, what that means is that my uterus feels as if I'm 5 months pregnant and I'm not pregnant at all. That's a problem. Now, it's not a huge issue to me, only because it's now 2012, and in 2009, maybe 10, when I found out that I had fibroids in the first place, the doctor said that my uterus felt like it was a 16-week uterus or gestation or pregnancy. They're all the same thing, which is 4 months. So in 2 years, my uterus had grown in the size of 1 more month, and if I were actually pregnant. So it took 2 years to gain the same size and things, like I said, protrusion, as having been 5 months pregnant. I have done research on things like blackstrap molasses and digestive enzymes and some other natural cures for things, and that's the approach that I want to take for about 6 months or so, and I'll see if my natural approach works. There's diet change, there's all of these things that are supposed to help and have been proven and shown to help. I've heard about red clover helping with this, so I'm now taking unsulfured blackstrap molasses and papaya enzyme as a digestive enzyme, and red clover, and as just actual things I can ingest to see if it'll make a difference. Blackstrap molasses, I believe, helps a lot of people because blackstrap molasses is high in iron, and a lot of people who have fibroids are anemic, so they're iron deficient, and I think that the replacing the iron in your system that you would normally have, or you're supposed to have, kind of counteracts the fibrin from growing. I'm not certain, I'm not 100% certain, but I think that that's what it is. And that the papaya or just digestive enzymes help with, again, digestion, so it helps to get into your system and work it out a lot faster. But I'm going to keep track of everything. If anyone knows of any other natural things to try or do, please let me know. I am deathly afraid of surgery, even though I know that it is an option. If I didn't know it was an option, I most certainly wouldn't be able to tell you what they were, because I research. And give me some clues. I've tried Fibrovan, and it's cool and it works some, but I don't like that $50 a bottle a month bill that I had to have, and there's no guarantee that once you stop taking them, they don't get larger. That's all, my problem, or they don't come back, kind of thing, and that's my problem. So I'm trying to do things naturally, adjusting my diet. I'm going to read up on that and go from there. So I started taking the blackstrap molasses, I believe June 28th, and I'm going to see if the bloating has dissipated and diminished, and if my belly is getting a little smaller from taking the blackstrap molasses. I do feel better. I am sleeping a lot better. It's not as tender when I press on my actual uterus. It's feeling a little bit better, and I'll see what happens from there. But I just want to share something about Dame that you all just don't know. So my next video, I don't know what I'll be talking about, but this one I wanted to share with you guys because it's not an uncommon problem or issue. And when I was first told that I have fibroids and all of this kind of thing, I thought that I was the only person. And in researching and looking up things on YouTube and Googling and all of that, I've discovered it's not just me. So that helps a lot too. And if I've helped anyone or open up dialogue and someone wants to do a video response and ask me some questions or suggest anything to me to maybe try or eat or drink, anything, as long as it's natural, I'll try it. Now, if it's some medicine that I can't tell you what is in it and I can't describe all of the ingredients, I don't want to mess with it, because I'm thinking that all the preservatives and hormones that's in a lot of the foods that we eat is a huge cause for a lot of this problem. And I do realize and understand now that in having natural hair, it is now changing the way that I think about a lot of things that I eat, the things that I drink, just any of the things that I put in my body, period. So, again, if you have any fibroid information, fibroid questions, anything, please hit me down here, right down there, because I'm very interested and I want to share what I know, and I want people to share with me, because we don't have a reason to be ashamed for having tumors, because a lot of times what was said or what was thought about people having fibroids or people having issues with their cervix was that these women must be loose, and that's the problem. And if you wasn't out there humping around with everybody, you wouldn't have that problem. Well, that I doubt is the case, because one, I'm now married, and my husband, wife, whichever you want to call her, whatever, is the only woman that I've ever decided I wanted to be in a relationship with and love and sleep with and all of this other stuff. And I've only had 3 boyfriends. So it can't be about promiscuity, because I've only had 3 boyfriends and not a million sexual partners in the first place. I've had a grand total, I believe, of 10 in life, and I'm 30 years old. And I started, the first time I had sex I was 15, almost 16 years old. Like, that was this summer, just like 2 months before I turned 16. And I'm 30 years old, I've had sex with 10 people in life. So it can't be about promiscuity. I want to be rid of the shame and the blame and all of this other stuff. Again, if you know anything, feel anything, have any questions, have any suggestions, any comments, anything, boop, right there. So I holler at you when I smile at you people. Bye. Silly, I'm silly. Bye.